Merry Christmas, everybody! I just wanted to come by and wish you all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and hope you're all having a good holiday. I certainly did. I think this holiday was actually pretty good. Christmas Eve was wonderful, and Christmas Day was extra wonderful. I got a pretty nice Miami TVG custom made that I want to show you. I want to show off if I can somehow hang it up somewhere, which I don't know if it's likely, but it's awesome. It is awesome, man. So, um, anyway, now that that's aside, though, we're gonna talk about this game, the Pop-Tarts Bowl between the Miami Hurricanes, who are ranked 13th, versus the Iowa State Cyclones. They are number 18th ranked in the top 25 rankings. The Hurricanes got massively screwed, by the committee because of course they always hate Miami and they'll forever hate Miami and they'll continue to love SEC. But regardless, who we got in this game? So we got Cam Ward, who is obviously going to play in this one, who said he's going to play. And then you got David Martinez, who's probably going to play this one. I have a feeling that with the players that they're going to be playing, they're definitely going to play in this game. I feel like this is a step to the right direction with the Miami Hurricanes. Obviously, I would have loved to be in the playoff, bro. I would have loved to be in the playoff. I really would have loved to be in the playoff, but of course, the committee just doesn't like us. So, regarding this matchup, you got Beck with the passing yards with 3,235 yards, 22 touchdown passes, and 9 interceptions. Of course, Cam Ward with 4,123. Yeah, 4,000 yards. That's insanity. 36 touchdown passes and 7 interceptions. Restrepo, I think, is going to be playing in this game as well. I feel like he should play in this game. And obviously, one of our best receivers who are going to be like coming in and balling out. I think it's fantastic. I think it's truly fantastic. So, let's talk about the Iowa State really quickly, how they get to this point. So, of course, you got a little preseason type matchup between North Dakota and Iowa State. Iowa State did handle business up in Iowa State, but then the big win against Iowa, which was ranked number 21. Iowa State beat them by a point, 20-19. They played Arkansas State, who handled it no problem, 52-7. Then they go to Houston, handled it no problem. In fact, they shut them out. So at that point, they're 4-0. Then they play against West Virginia. Then they beat West Virginia 28-16. Then a amazing, great game between Iowa State and UCF, University of Central Florida. They beat them 38-25. That game was classic, bro. That was absolutely classic. They ended up losing some ranking points, which is shocking to me because they were still undefeated. I understand there was some tough matchup, but it's like the Hurricane treatment. And then a really tough loss against Texas Tech. They lost by a point, and when Texas Tech handed them their first loss of the season, and how that happened was just absolutely painful for Iowa State. They had a go ahead touchdown, which was 2-point conversion, just wasn't there, and then it took 12 plays for Texas Tech to get a go ahead touchdown, and then get that. Actually, they didn't even need to kick the PAT. They like to go for two. Even then, they didn't even get the 2-point conversion. So it all adds up to the defensive, and then Texas Tech just survived that one. That was an insane win for them, but a heartbreaking loss for Iowa State, an absolute heartbreaker. Then they go to Kansas. They got beat by Kansas, 36-45. And just like that, like the Hurricanes treatments, they were 17th at that point. Then they became unranked. However, they did rebound big time when they beat Cincinnati 34-17. They're back up. They're back on the top 25. They beat Utah. That was a big win itself, 31-28. Then they beat Kansas State. And then they got themselves into a Big 12 championship. And they got absolutely kicked by Arizona State. And Arizona State was a great game on its own and a great team on its own, but man, they got whooped by Arizona State. I kind of feel bad. So that all leads up to here, to Pop-Tarts Bowl. So Hurricanes versus Cyclones. Yeah, Hurricanes versus Cyclones. Hurricanes, they form in the Atlantic Ocean and Gulf of Mexico to give, the Eastern and Gulf states a little bit of a hard time, and Texas a little bit of a hard time. There's also Eastern Pacific hurricanes, but then there's typhoons, which is in Eastern or Western Pacific, and then cyclones, which if I'm not mistaken, they form by the Indian Ocean. I'm gonna double check real quick. Where do cyclones form? Tropical cyclones, tropical ocean, temperature wind, blah blah blah. Nothing I don't want to know about that one. Yada yada yada. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah. Here we go. Hurricanes right here. Hold up. I'll just show you. Okay, so I know this is some kind of weather talk. I just thought it was pretty interesting. You got the hurricanes. Over here. Then by over here, with India, Japan, and those places, they get typhoons there. But then down here in the southern Indian Ocean, that's where cyclones happen. It's really the same. It's really the same type of storm. Okay, they're really the same type of storm, except for one big difference is that the ones in Asia, Africa, Australia, they rotate clockwise, but as for over here, they rotate counterclockwise. I do apologize if I'm giving a little bit of weather lessons, but seriously. That's the name of the storms right here. Miami Hurricanes, Iowa State Cyclones. Who is the bigger storm? Needlessly to say that I'm not trying to make it about weather. I just thought it was hilarious that they're both named after a windy type storm that caused destruction, which it's awful. I'm not trying to promote the name, okay? Because those storms suck. They suck so badly, and it caused harm. But what I'm trying to say is that it's just so hilarious to me that those two teams with the same type of thing are competing against each other. But anyway, this is the first time they actually met in college football. They never ever fought. They never ever played against each other. So there's no previous meetings against each other within the 80 years. 80 years. And finally, we're about to play Iowa State for the first time ever. And it's going to be happening at Pop-Tarts Bowl in Orlando, Florida. We're going to be going to, what's what they call it? The Citrus Bowl? Which is at Camping World Stadium. Camping World Stadium. I actually saw Camping World Stadium. It's off West Church Street up in Orlando. It's off, Exploria or Intercoke.com. Was Intercoke Stadium and then Kia Center, all on the same street too. It's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice little area with a bunch of stadiums. And albeit though, that stadium is kind of old. I think they need to get a new stadium. I think Orlando should get a new football stadium, to upgrade and perhaps maybe pursue some perhaps get NFL teams, and like they're trying to get the baseball team in. I'm just saying. When it comes to Miami Hurricanes, though, they have not had the good luck when it comes to bowl games. I think it's established that, and that's why all the teams, especially in the state of Florida, are backing up the talk. Say, hey, you may have a good record, but at least we can win bowl games. South Florida Bulls just won the Hawaii Bowl, albeit 5 overtime. That was a pretty darn good game. But they came into that game 6-6. And they still won a bowl game. Not easy, but they have done it in Hawaii. So Tampa got their type of trophy, or some kind of trophy. Miami Hurricanes, the last time they have won any bowl game was Russell Athletic Bowl That was against West Virginia. And convenient enough, though, that game, let's see, the Miami Hurricanes, they were 8-4 that season, and they did win the bowl game. Guess where that game took place? If you guess Camping World Stadium, Orlando, Florida, you are correct. That took place at December 28th, 2016 at Camping World Stadium. So could this finally be the curse to be lifted? Can we finally get a trophy? Because we haven't won a bowl game since 2016, since the Citrus Bowl. And now we're going back to the Citrus Bowl. The losses since that bowl game. 2017, the Orange Bowl, got our ass kicked by Wisconsin, 24-34. The Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium, just as badly, 3-35 against Wisconsin, terrible. Independence Bowl, Louisiana Tech, we got shut out. That was terrible. The Cheez-It Bowl, that was a tough one. That game was also at Camping World Stadium. Independence, Louisiana. It felt like a home game for Louisiana Tech. And then, of course, as he may already know, because I actually went to this game, that on its own was as pathetic as a loss as it could possibly be. And, of course, it's the Pinstripe Bowl last year against Rutgers. That loss was humiliating on its own. And it's totally unacceptable that you had a whole month to prepare and you just could not do it. That alone made me question Mario Cristobal. But we'll see what happens in this game, as there's no previous meetings between the Hurricanes and the Cyclones. It's going to happen in Orlando, Florida. I do wish I attended this game in Orlando because Orlando is such a beautiful place. I love Orlando to death, man. I love that city. I love Miami too. I love Florida. I love to have that territorial talk. I love to have that rivalry talk. But the cities and everything within the state, they are absolutely magnificent. And that's why I'm kind of envious that I'm not there for it. But anyway, there you go. That's going to do it for this one. Merry Christmas, everybody. I might do a Dolphins preview tonight. I may not. But we'll see what happens. So that's going to do it for this one. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for content, because Miami TG has your back. And what he does, he'll be right there with you, as always, the entertainment you deserve. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays once again, folks. And that's going to do it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Good night. Happy Holidays.